Pac-12 presidents, athletic directors, and others are meeting today at Arizona State Monday, January 30th to receive an update from George Kliavkoff in the current Pac-12 meeting negotiations. We're going to be talking about that here today. Also, Andrew Marchand has a little article out there in the New York Post talking about the current Pac-12 meeting negotiations. We're going to hit that. That might surprise you. Some information in there. Welcome to episode 139 of College Football's Peek Around the Corner with your host, Greg Pflugar. We cover everything in college football because we love everything in college football. And if you do as well, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, share the video with your family and friends. First, we're going to be talking about John Wilner's Mercury News article that just came out. We're not going to be posting it here because it's behind a paywall, but we're going to give you the bullet points. John Wilner describes a meeting today as so very important. The university presidents, the athletic directors are going to be getting an update on the current Pac-12 negotiations. John Wilner states that if a deal doesn't get done in the next 4 to 6 weeks, and that is now the new expectations, that a Pac-12 new media deal will get done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. If it doesn't, people are going to start to get anxious and going to be starting to look for alternatives. And I would consider just about every Pac-12 school to start looking for alternatives if a deal doesn't get done in the next 4 to 6 weeks. Wow. John Wilner also talks about in a Paul Feinbaum interview that showed Friday that if the Pac-12 does get that deal done, they'll be looking at expansion, of course, and San Diego State would be the number one expansion candidate. We've been talking about that since episode number 5 of this channel, all the way back in August, and SMU would be candidate number 2, and they would probably take both. That's what we believe here at Peek Around the Corner as well, because of the inventory situation. Pac-12 would probably want to go to 12 schools to make sure that they can fulfill the obligations of the new media partners, because you don't want the same schools playing that late window, right? That late media window, the 4th time slot. You don't want that to have that put on the current 10 Pac-12 schools. So get it out to San Diego State. Get it out to SMU. San Diego State getting the Southern California media market. We've talked about it, the recruiting aspect, the media market. Also, SMU brings in the Dallas, Fort Worth area somewhat, helps with recruiting. It got to talk about, Pac-12's got to talk about and focus on football, and football. Got to get back into Southern California. Got to get back into Dallas. Of course, this only happens if the Pac-12 can get a deal done that satisfies the 10 current Pac-12 presidents when it comes to revenue, when it comes to exposure. Let's take a quick look here. Marchand, this is his article here in the New York Post. I'm going to read it. The Pac-12 TV deal is something to watch because while I think it has some suitors in Amazon, ESPN, and Fox Sports, the sense I keep getting is none of them view it as a must-have. This is bad news for Pac-12. So where does the conference find leverage? In theory, it could look outside those 3, but others all come with issues, namely exposure. Because NBC, CBS, and Apple TV would want to make it mostly a streaming deal. Even CBS would make it a streaming deal, according to John Marchand. Wow. That's not good news for the Pac-12. If they were even interested, Apple, of course, doesn't have a broadcast network. Well, NBC has this new primetime Big Ten games starting in the fall and Notre Dame home games in the afternoon. And CBS has afternoon Big Ten on broadcast. Maybe there's an opening for a Saturday night Pac-12 schedule on a broadcast TV, but it doesn't feel like a match, at least not for big money. And then Marchand goes on to talk about how Amazon, for instance, they don't really have these programming slots that they have to fill. This is not a must-have. He goes on in that New York Post article that gives more details on that. It just Doesn't seem like Pac-12 has any leverage in these negotiations. And here's the bottom part of the article in the New York Post by Marchand. Amazon did well with the Thursday Night Football, but beyond the obvious fact that the NFL is a far different animal than the Pac-12, Thursday Night Football also is a standalone game. Pac-12 matchups are in competition with endless other college games. There are going to be deals to be made for the Pac-12, but will they be strong enough to stave off more realignment, especially with the Big 12's agreement with ESPN allowing for further payments if Power 5 schools are added? The Pac-12 should be able to get close to the nearly $32 million per school that the Big 12 received, but the Pac-12 will have to realize that is more the competition and not the Big 10. On top of all this, the Pac-12 may owe Comcast $50 million for overcharging. Not good. Let's repeat this part right here. The Pac-12 should be able to get close to nearly $32 million per school the Big 12 received. Nearly. That's the latest estimate from Andrew. So you might not even get as much as the Big 12 schools do in their new media contract, plus the fact that your visibility, your exposure is not going to be anywhere near what the Big 12 schools are going to be getting. Holy smokes. And people doubted Brett Yormark's decision to move up his media negotiations with Fox and ESPN, move it up 18 months. Brett Yormark made the right decision, and he got the deal done, and he got the best windows, he got the best exposures, and now Pac-12 is sitting here. What happened to the $35 million, the $39 million, the $40 million estimates that each Pac-12 school is going to get? Those are now no more. They don't have any leverage. Maybe it's because Oregon and Washington refuses to sign a grant of rights with that has any teeth to it, so it brings down the value of the entire media contract. We don't know. We don't know. But there is something here, folks. Pac-12's future rests on the knife's edge. 33% chance of Pac-12 extinction, according to John Wilner. I doubted that. I doubted that number. I thought maybe about 10%. I'm not going to doubt that 33% anymore. If Andrew Marchand's information is correct, and he's never wrong, hardly ever, if that information the New York Post that I just read to you is correct, if that is the current play in the negotiations between the Pac-12 and the potential new media partners, again, holy smokes. So stick with us here at Peek Around the Corner as we continue to cover the Pac-12 media negotiation story, because it's a big one. It could have massive ripple effects, and realignment may not be done yet in this cycle. So hang with us. Tonight, again, a live show at 6:45 Eastern Time, 5:45 Central Time, 3:45 Pacific Time. We're going to be covering the new ACC schedule that gets released on the ACC network tonight at 7 o'clock Eastern. And of course, we're going to be talking about this Pac-12, this meeting. Maybe leaks will come out of this meeting as the day goes on. We're going to be talking about it tonight. So join us here at Peek Around the Corner. Until next time, which is tonight, please, from all of us at Peek Around the Corner to all of you, take care of each other. Thank you so very much. Take care.